All right, today we're diving into one of the most fascinating and, honestly, one of the most mysterious stories in the entire Quran. It's a narrative from Surah al-Baqarah that's got everything. A prophet accused of being a sorcerer, devils spreading lies, and get this, two angels sent down by God to teach magic. It's an incredible story about a divine trial, and it all kicks off with a very serious accusation. So the story just drops this bombshell question right at the start, tackling a huge rumor head on. And the question is designed to grab you. Was the wise prophet Solomon, a man famous for his incredible God-given kingdom, secretly a sorcerer? The verse opens by telling us that a group of people chose to follow the lies that the devils were spreading around the time of Prophet Solomon's rule. So, right from the first line, we have this conflict set up between truth and pure falsehood, and the devils are pinpointed as the source of all this misinformation. Okay, so what was this lie they were spreading? Well, the rumor going around was that Solomon didn't build his magnificent kingdom because of God's favor. No, the devils claimed he did it all through magic and sorcery. This wasn't just some gossip, it was a direct attack on his status as a prophet and on his faith in God. And the Quran's response? Oh, it's sharp. It's direct. It draws a crystal clear line in the sand. On one side, you have the simple truth. Solomon did not disbelieve. And on the other side, the real story. But the devils disbelieved, because they were the ones running around teaching magic to people. And just like that, Solomon's name is completely cleared. So, with Solomon's name cleared, the focus of the story immediately shifts. Now we look at the real culprits. Who were these devils, and what exactly were they doing to lead people astray? And here's a really cool little detail you might miss if you're not paying close attention. The Arabic word for devils, ash-shayateen, shows up twice, back to back, right at the beginning here. This repetition really hammers home the point that they are the ones causing the corruption. And once that's established, the word just vanishes for the rest of the story. Now, just when you think you figured out who the bad guys are, the story throws a massive curveball. Two new figures enter the scene, but they aren't devils, they're angels, sent down by God himself. So let's just break this down for a second. Who are we talking about? Two angels named Harut and Marut. Where did this happen? In the ancient city of Babylon. And what were they doing? Well, they were sent down with knowledge of the exact same magic the devils had been spreading. And yeah, that raises a pretty massive question, doesn't it? I mean, it sounds like a total contradiction, right? If magic is an act of disbelief, why on earth would God send his own angels to teach it to people? Well, the answer to that question is actually the whole point of this divine test we're about to explore. To make sense of this, you absolutely have to understand one key Arabic term, fitna. A fitna is a trial, a test, a temptation. It's something God puts in front of people to see what they'll do, to distinguish the true believers from those who are just going to stumble. The angels weren't sent to corrupt people, they were the test. And get this, the angels weren't trying to trick anybody, not at all. They were completely transparent about their mission. To every single person who came to them wanting to learn this stuff, they gave a direct and powerful warning. We are only a trial, so do not disbelieve. The choice was laid out right in front of them, plain as day. So the warning couldn't be clearer, and the stakes couldn't be higher. You've been told this knowledge is a test of your faith. So, when people were presented with this trial, what did they choose? And more importantly, what happened because of that choice? The verse is incredibly specific about this. People didn't go looking for some neutral theoretical knowledge. Nope. They went straight for the most destructive stuff they could find. They learned magic specifically to tear families apart, to cause separation between a husband and wife. And broadly speaking, they chose to learn things that would actively harm them, with zero real benefit. And the wording here in the verse is just so stark. It makes this choice painfully clear. It literally contrasts what they learned, that which harms them, yaduruhum, with what they completely ignored, that which benefits them, yanfa'uhum. It was a conscious decision to choose harm over good. But then, right after that, the verse drops this absolutely crucial clarification. Even with this powerful magic, no one could actually harm anyone except by the permission of God. This is such an important reminder of a core belief. Nothing, good or bad, happens outside of God's ultimate will. He allows the test, sure, but he is always, always in absolute control. Okay, so after telling this profound story from the distant past, the Quran does something amazing. It pivots. It turns its attention directly to the believers living at that time, and by extension, to us today, with the really practical piece of advice that ties right back into this theme of making the right choice. The instruction was all about choosing your words carefully. The believers were told, hey, stop using this word ra'ina. Why? Because it was ambiguous and could be twisted to sound disrespectful. Instead, they were commanded to use the word unzorna, which meant something like look upon us or wait for us. It was clear, it was respectful, no ambiguity. And then came the final instruction, just listen. And that's what brings this whole lesson full circle. See, just like the people in Babylon had a choice between harmful knowledge and beneficial knowledge, believers have a choice in how they communicate. The principle is exactly the same. Choose clarity over confusion, choose respect over disrespect, and always, always be ready to actually listen and obey true guidance. The passage then concludes with this powerful, sweeping reminder. After laying out the whole trial, the choices people made, and the commands to the believers, it brings it all back to one central truth. The final outcome is in God's hands. He's the one who grants mercy and guidance to whoever he wills, because he is the ultimate source of all goodness and bounty. And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. This story of Harut and Marut, it's not just some ancient tale. It's a timeless lesson. It teaches us that knowledge itself, any kind of knowledge, can be a fitna, a trial. The real test isn't what you know, it's what you do with what you know. So the question it leaves for every single one of us is this. When you're faced with knowledge that can either harm or benefit, how do you choose?